The airplane wheels touched the tarmac, a gentle bump, and in that instant, I felt the weight of anticipation lift. The air outside the window shimmered with heat, and the landscape beyond the runway was a patchwork of green and red earth, so different from anywhere I'd been before. My journey in Malawi had officially begun, and every sense was on high alert, eager to absorb the unknown. Stepping into the Malawian air, I felt a warmth that was more than just the sun. It was a gentle embrace, a welcome that seemed to radiate from the people and the land itself. Lilongwe, the warm heart of Africa, lay before me, unfamiliar, organic, and real. The city sprawled in every direction, a living mosaic of neighborhoods, markets, and winding roads. With a hotel address scribbled on paper and a few local phrases memorized, I felt both anticipation and uncertainty. My heart raced with the thrill of possibility, but I was also aware of how much I didn't know. This wasn't a city of skyscrapers or neat grids, it was alive, unpredictable. The streets pulsed with energy and every corner promised a new discovery. My plan was simple: find a taxi, check in at the hotel, and then explore with a map in hand. But I quickly learned that in Lilongwe, plans are just starting points. Travel plans are just suggestions, easily rewritten by the city's rhythm and the kindness of strangers. The drive from the airport was a blur of vibrant colors, bicycles balancing chickens, children waving from the roadside, and the constant movement of daily life. Women with baskets on their heads moved gracefully through the crowds, their laughter and conversation floating through the open windows. The city revealed itself in glimpses, like flashes of a story unfolding. I felt like a guest at a bustling party, invited to witness but not yet to understand. The feeling of being an outsider was a reminder. I was here to learn and connect, to listen before speaking, to observe before acting. Every face, every smell, roasting maize, sweet mangoes, the earthy scent of dust, hinted at stories I didn't know yet, stories waiting to be discovered. Children played soccer on dusty fields, their laughter echoing across the open spaces, reminding me that joy can be found in the simplest moments. The late afternoon sun cast a golden haze over the city, softening the edges of buildings and people alike. The dust in the air seemed to glow, carrying with it the promise of adventure. Arriving at my guest house, the owner welcomed me with a smile and a simple direction. "Just walk, you will find it." His words were both reassuring and daunting, an invitation to let go of control and trust the journey. I realized then that sometimes the best way to discover a place is to let it unfold at its own pace, to follow the advice of those who know its rhythms best. As I set my bag down, I understood. The real adventure wouldn't be on a map, but in the steps I took without one. Each moment of uncertainty was an opportunity to grow. Lilongwe was ready to reveal itself, if only I was willing to wander. The city seemed to whisper that the best discoveries are made by those who are open to surprise. The city's heart, I sensed, beat strongest off the beaten path, down narrow dusty roads in the laughter of strangers, and in the quiet moments of wonder that come from simply being present. The next morning, I set out with a map and a sense of confidence, determined to find the Old Town Market, certain that my careful planning would guide me through the city's maze. The sun was just rising, casting a golden glow over Lilongwe's busy streets, and I felt ready for anything. But Lilongwe's streets twisted and turned, defying the neat lines on my paper. The city seemed to have a mind of its own, with roads that looped and doubled back, intersections that didn't exist on my map, and alleys that appeared out of nowhere. Landmarks I'd circled the night before vanished, replaced by new construction and shifting storefronts. The city felt alive, constantly changing, as if it was playfully hiding its secrets from me, shifting beneath my feet with every step. After an hour of wandering, lost and disoriented, a creeping sense of panic set in. The map was useless, a relic from another time, unable to keep up with the city's restless energy. I folded it away, realizing that clinging to it was only making things worse. Instead, I decided to trust my senses, to let go of control and see where the city would take me. Following the flow of people, I surrendered to the city's rhythm. I let the crowd guide me, moving with the current rather than against it, feeling the pulse of Lilongwe in every step. Suddenly, every street became a new possibility, every turn an invitation to discover something unexpected. The city transformed from a puzzle to be solved into a living, breathing adventure. I was no longer a tourist failing to find a location. I was an explorer, charting my own path, open to wherever the day might lead. Each step felt lighter, each moment more alive. The frustration of being lost melted into curiosity. I found myself smiling at the unfamiliar, eager to see what lay around the next corner. What was down that alley? What stories waited in the shadows and sunlight of these winding streets? Where were these people going? What daily rituals and hidden treasures shaped their routines? I started looking up, at faces, shop signs, the tapestry of daily life unfolding all around me. The city's energy was contagious, and I felt myself becoming part of its story. I stopped forcing the city to fit my expectations and let it reveal itself on its own terms. Each pause, each glance, became a small act of discovery. Sometimes the best discoveries happen when you stop searching and start seeing, when you let the map become a blank page and let the city write its own story for you. By following the crowd, I stumbled into the Old Town Market, a sensory explosion that instantly swept me up. The market seemed to pulse with life, every corner alive with movement and color, as if the entire city had gathered here to trade, talk, and celebrate. The air was thick with the scent of mangoes, drying fish, and earth. Each breath brought a new layer of aroma, spices mingling with the sweetness of fruit, the tang of fresh vegetables, and the unmistakable smell of sun-warmed soil beneath my feet. Vendors called out prices, their voices rising above the hum, while children darted between stalls, their laughter ringing out. Somewhere nearby, a group of musicians played, their rhythms weaving through the chaos, creating a joyful, chaotic symphony that made it impossible not to smile. I wandered through narrow alleys draped in vibrant kitenge fabrics, their patterns fluttering in the breeze. Past craftsmen carving intricate designs into wood, and women bartering passionately over piles of fresh vegetables. Every step revealed a new story, a new face, a new burst of color. The market was more than commerce. It was Lilongwe's beating heart, a place where the city's spirit was on full display. Here, strangers became neighbors, and every transaction was a conversation. Pyramids of tomatoes, sacks of beans, and rows of secondhand shoes lined the stalls, each one telling its own story. Some stalls overflowed with produce, others with household goods, and all of them reflected the resourcefulness and creativity of the people who ran them. Old and new coexisted in harmony. Phone chargers displayed right beside bundles of herbal medicines, radios next to hand-carved tools. The market was a living collage of tradition and innovation, where past and present met in every transaction. Here, I wasn't lost. I was part of the flow, swept along by the current of people and energy. The market's rhythm became my own, and I felt a sense of belonging in the crowd. I bought a sweet banana from a smiling vendor, watched a tailor expertly stitch colorful fabric, and let myself soak in the vibrant energy that buzzed all around me. Every interaction felt genuine, every smile a small gift. These small human moments were the true souvenirs, the kind you carry home in your heart long after the journey ends. No guidebook could prepare me for this beautiful chaos, for the way the market's energy would linger with me, reshaping my idea of what travel could be. This was travel at its most vibrant and real, a place where every sense was awakened, and every moment felt alive with possibility. Overwhelmed, I paused at a food stall where a woman flipped small pancakes, mandasi, on a griddle. Her smile was warm, the treat, delicious. A man named Joseph noticed my enjoyment and struck up a conversation. He was a teacher, proud of his city, honest about its challenges. "My family would be honored if you joined us for lunch," he offered. In many places such kindness might seem odd, but here it felt natural. I accepted, and we walked through winding paths into his neighborhood. Children waved, shouting cheerful greetings. At his simple, spotless home, I was welcomed like an old friend. A spontaneous act of generosity had turned my day into something deeply meaningful. Sometimes the best connections are the ones you never plan. Earlier, lost at a busy intersection, fear had gripped me. Alone and disoriented, my mind raced with worst-case scenarios. The adventure felt less romantic, more risky, but fear is natural. It's your brain's way of urging caution. I paused, observed, and let the city's rhythm calm me. That small act shifted panic to awareness. The day became a roller coaster: fear, wonder, gratitude. Joseph's kindness was a lifeline, reminding me that connection is often just a smile away. Overcoming fear was a victory, proof of my own resilience. Finding my footing wasn't about maps, but about trust in myself and in the goodness of strangers. The fear didn't ruin the experience, it deepened it. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but taking the next step anyway. Sometimes the most profound moments come after the scariest ones. After a simple lunch with Joseph's family, He led me to the Lilongwe River. Away from the city's chaos, life slowed by the water's edge. Women washed clothes, children splashed, laughter echoed. A peaceful, timeless scene. We sat on a sun-warmed rock watching the river's gentle flow. Joseph called it the city's lifeblood, a place for work, play, and reflection. Here, the anxieties of being lost vanished, replaced by contentment. This was a side of Lilongwe no map could show. The soul of a city is found in quiet moments, not just landmarks. As the sun dipped low, I felt grateful, for kindness, for serendipity, for the beauty of the ordinary. Sometimes the most memorable journeys are made of small, peaceful moments. Getting lost can be a gift, but a little preparation helps. Always carry your accommodations address, on paper, in the local language. Memorize a landmark near your stay, it's your anchor. Pay attention to the sun's direction. It's a simple compass. Trust your instincts. If a place feels wrong, turn back. Learn a few local phrases. Greetings open doors, dress modestly, respect customs, and ask before taking photos. Carry small local currency, and most importantly, a smile. Flexibility and humility turn mishaps into adventures. The best travel stories begin when you let go of control. Looking back, getting lost was Lilongwe's greatest gift. Had I followed my map, I'd have left with only surface impressions. Losing my way forced me to engage, to rely on instinct and the kindness of strangers. Surrendering control allowed for serendipity, a conversation, an invitation, a peaceful riverbank. My connection to Lilongwe became personal. The taste of mandasi, laughter by the river, Joseph's welcome. These memories are woven into my story, more powerful than any photo. Getting lost, stripped away my tourist identity, I was simply a person, connecting with others. Adventure isn't about conquering mountains, it's about embracing the unknown, even in city streets. The fear was fleeting, the lessons and kindness, lasting. Lilongwe taught me the beauty of human connection. Sometimes the best maps are the ones we draw in our hearts. The unplanned moments are the ones that change us. My Lilongwe story is just one thread in the world's tapestry. There are countless streets, markets, and stories waiting for curious hearts. These adventures aren't just for explorers, they're for anyone willing to take the first step. The world is bigger, kinder, and more interesting than we imagine. The best discoveries lie just beyond our comfort zones. I invite you, don't just watch. Come along, get lost, and find connection. Let's meet people, hear their stories, and celebrate our shared humanity. The adventure is richer when shared. The path ahead is unknown, and that's the best part. Let's see where it takes us, together.